And when they asked Khalid Sheikh Mohammed about this courier, and don't forget, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed had been waterboarded 183 times, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed lied to them and said, you know, this person's not very important, was kind of dismissive. From other information the CIA had, they knew that Khalid Sheikh Mohammed and another high-level detainee were both lying about this courier. And the information they had on the courier was from people who were not tortured. They got information from them through other methods. And so when you talk to people inside the administration, they say the alerting factor to us was a lie. And we knew it was a lie from other methods. And so they say this has absolutely nothing to do with the effectiveness of torture.
Brandon Neely was a guard at Guantanamo, and he says he saw hellish treatment of detainees there. Brandon Neely joins me now. Brandon, when you hear the president talk about the morality of not releasing this picture, of doing the right thing, it's not what America does. What is your take, given you were at Guantanamo watching and witnessing some pretty outrageous stuff being carried out in America's name?
Well, I can understand him not releasing the photo. At the same time, I think that the victims of the 9/11 family should have the opportunity, if possible, to view the photos in a confidential or secret way, if they can.
But in relation to what you witnessed, I mean, you saw, I would argue, from what I've read of your testimony before, flagrant abuses of the Geneva Convention and of justice, didn't you?
Yeah, so when I was at Guantanamo, I saw a lot of abuse that took place at the hands of the Internal Reaction Force team there at Guantanamo Bay. In the early days, there was an incident that happened on Bravo Block, which a detainee the Internal Reaction Force team was called in, and they opened the cell door, and the Internal Reaction Force team took him down, beat him up, hit and punched him, hog-tied him, and left him there. He actually had to be taken from an ambulance to the main hospital there on Guantanamo Bay. And you know, this detainee now has been cleared, and he's innocent, and he's out. He actually, since he's been released, he's had medical treatment and surgery due to that Irving incident that day.
I mean, from everything that you saw, do you think that torture in any guise, whether it's, you know, semi-permissible like waterboarding, does it ever work from what you saw?
No, I firmly believe torture is a betrayal of the American values. I mean, you can't stoop to the level of the terrorist groups and throw out the principles and the values that America stands for just because that's what they're doing. You know, our government stands in front of a podium and condemns other countries for torture and abuse on their people and their prisoners. It's really time that we quit talking the talk and walk the walk and do what we want other countries to do. I think, you know, lately people seem to think waterboarding is the thing to do, but it seems that people forgot that the Reagan administration in the 80s actually prosecuted a sheriff here in Texas and his deputies for waterboarding a suspect.
Brandon Neely, thank you. We'll take a short break now, and we'll be back in a moment.